Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World. Today we're here in Bordeaux, France, one of the prettiest cities that you can visit when you do come to France. And today what we have for you are 10 things that shock tourists when they come here to Bordeaux. And the first thing that shocks you is just how much wine you will have and you will see and you will visit when you are here in Bordeaux. I know Bordeaux is synonymous with French wine for good reason, because it's phenomenal here. But you will see it in a Bordelais sauce, you will see it all over the place. You will try a lot of it when you are here with the vineyards and the Cite du Vin. There's all kinds of great wine stuff here, but it's really shocking just how much wine and how influential wine is in the city and in the entire region. I mean, it's amazing how many wine things you can do when you are here. And the thing is, I kind of feel that Bordeaux is so synonymous with French wine that people sometimes forget that there's this gorgeous city you can come and enjoy and visit. And so it's actually nice because there's not a lot of tourists that are here, because I think most people just think it's wine, and it's so much more than that when you're here. And that leads into the second thing that shocks tourists when they come here to Bordeaux, and that is the UNESCO World Heritage Site Center. I mean, you have tons of pedestrian shopping, you've got tons of pedestrian streets, you've got gates you can check out, some with a big clock in it, the towers, all this kind of stuff you can climb up to, little museums on the side of them, little churches on the side of them. The old town with the architecture that's there, how it's been renovated, and the historic preservation of the city is incredible. You're going to walk around and walk around and walk around that your feet are going to hurt so much from seeing all these great sights. Going to the cathedral and climbing up the 300 plus steps to the top of the bell tower that's outside. Going and seeing those gates, just enjoying the city overall. It's just amazing, and I can understand why UNESCO made this a World Heritage Site, because when you're here, I mean, with the architecture, with the museums that are here, oh my gosh, I forgot about the museums you can go see when you're here. If you want to go learn about the history of Aquitaine, the region here, there's the regional museum for Aquitaine here. There's the Museum of Beaux-Arts. If you want more traditional art, there's a great contemporary art museum. There's a ton of museums around here. There's the City of Wine, if you want to go learn how they make wine. I mean, there's just so much to do here in the UNESCO World Heritage Site, but throughout the city, that it really is a place that you don't just come for a weekend, you actually need a lot of time to visit. Now, the third thing that shocks people when they come here to Bordeaux is the food scene. I mean, I know French food is just synonymous with fantastic food, but honestly, Bordeaux could have some of the best food in France. I mean, the meats here, I mean, you'll see lines for the entrecote places. You will see so many people just drooling, looking at the food and the pastries and the meats that are here, the fish that are here. But for me, oh my goodness, the oysters are the top here. I mean, you gotta have oysters when you come here, because Bordeaux is famous for their oysters. Also, you can have your Bordelais sauce if you want a wine sauce that goes on anything. I mean, if it says with a Bordelais, like the sauce with it, just get that, you'll be fine. I mean, we've had great pork, we've had great lamb, we've had great beef, we've had great fish. The scene here, the food scene here is fantastic. You will eat very, very well when you are here, like shockingly well, that you don't mind if you pay a little bit more for the food, because it's so good here. And when you're walking around, don't forget to pick up, it looks like a little tiny bundt cake. It's like cannelé, and it's basically rum, vanilla, eggs, and sugar, and it's just really, really good to walk around, have some. Very, very, very tasty. Really enjoyed that yesterday. So definitely have one of those when you are walking around. Now, the fourth thing that shocks people when they come here is how friendly the people in Bordeaux are. I mean, you know, if you've watched our videos, you know I'm very much a Francophile. I feel that France gets a really bad rap about bad service and rude people. Man, it's not the case in France, but especially here in Bordeaux. I mean, maybe it's because we're farther south, the people warm up even more, but the people have been super friendly. From the assistants in the stores, to the waiters and waitresses we've had, to the bartenders and barkeeps, and everyone we've met around has just been fantastic here in Bordeaux. And if you try a little French, it opens them up even more. And the thing that's great here is you can be like me and use your really bad French to kind of order your food and all this kind of stuff, and they'll go through it and they'll play along with you. I'm like, okay, then they'll switch to English and be like, so let's just make sure we got your order right, and go through it. I mean, it's just wonderful how great the people are here. Our taxis we've taken here everywhere we've gone. Oh, do you know about this? Do you know about that? They gave us the history of the city whenever we drove around. It's just a really fantastic place with really fantastic people. Now, the fifth thing that's going to shock you when you come here is when you look for a wine tour and how many vineyards you can go visit. I mean, there are hundreds of vineyards you can go to and wines you can try, and it's just an amazing experience. And you can go on a full day tour, you can go on a half day tour, you could spend weeks visiting the vineyards vineyards and the wineries around Bordeaux and in the region, and you'll have different wines and different flavors, different, everything, the bouquets. Oh my God, it's just such a fantastic experience that you'll be shocked how much you really fall in love with wine and the wine culture when you're here, but just when you get kind of overwhelmed by how many wine options there are and vineyards you can go see, it just blows your mind. And another thing that kind of goes along with the shock of all those vineyards is all the chateaux that are around this area. Because think about it, if it has a vineyard, it probably has a little chateau there as well, and you can go visit those chateaux too. Now, I do have a little recommendation for you when you're looking at the wineries. Make sure you call ahead to make sure they have, wine tasting times, because the vineyards here aren't just show up whenever you want. A lot of them might be open maybe just once a week, or they only do special like reservation or reserve groups and stuff like that. So do have a heads up for it. The chateau, those you can be a little bit more touristy without the wine, so you can probably have a better luck at just checking those out, but do your research before you go. Now, when you're out and about, maybe you're doing the vineyards, or maybe you rented a car and you just want to drive around the area because it is gorgeous here. There's a lot of really great spots to visit. I think one thing that was going to shock you is when you go to a UNESCO World Heritage Site city like village, Saint-Emilion, where it has the cobblestone streets, and you got the church there, or all the little villages around you can go visit, or maybe you want to hit the beach. Yeah, you can go to Arcachon, which is a beach town, which is like an hour from Bordeaux. I really recommend you drive to there because it's a lot simpler than taking the public transportation, but you don't have to. And when you're there, you can see the largest dune in Europe, or, well, it depends who you ask, because sometimes the Lithuanians might say something about that, but it is gorgeous, and the locals will recommend, hey, it's a nice day, head out to the beach. No, Bordeaux's not, don't be shy, Bordeaux's not a beach town, okay? It's a river town. You're gonna love the river, going on the canal cruises and all the river cruises you can do when you're here. Heck, there's a big, cruise ship behind me where I'm filming. There's a lot of options to enjoy the water when you're here, but get out and explore that area and explore the whole region, not just for the wine, but for the history that's here as well, and the beaches too. Now, the eighth thing that might shock you when you come here is just how long the Sainte-Catherine pedestrian shopping street is. I mean, we went up there with the boys. We went from the top by the tourist office. We looked down, and you look down and you're like, whoa, that can't be the whole street. Am I having like an optical illusion? Oh, no. It is the longest pedestrian shopping street in Europe. And I mean, it's got something for everybody. Whether you're an old guy like me, if you got your kids with you, if you got the grandparents with you, you want to go get some drinks, you want to get some food, if you want to get some, sports stuff, they've got all kinds of stuff on the pedestrian street. And you can walk off to the side to get some nicer restaurants and right on the pedestrian street. But it's just like shocking, like how far it goes. And when you're on it, don't forget to look to the right and look to the left, because sometimes you might see a city gate, you might see some cool architecture, maybe wander off a little bit, because the shops just aren't on the pedestrian street. They're also on the side street as well. And that's one thing we really enjoyed, is just wandering around, finding a cafe here, finding a lunch there. It was really, really fun. Now, the ninth thing that shocks people when they come here is the water mirror. When you go to Place de la Bourse, it's actually down that way. Not where that spire is, it's actually closer than that. You go down there and they have a reflecting pool that you can see. And it's basically, if you see any pictures or thumbnails about stuff for Bordeaux, that will be on there because it'll have the reflection of the buildings on it. And what it is, it's a reflecting pool part of the time. And then it's, cleared off part of the time, and then it's like a mist forest part of the time. I know yesterday we came up with the boys, and the boys like, oh my God, what's going on there? I'm like, oh, go on guys, that's the mirror water mirror. And they go up and they're running through the mist. I mean, it's like an Instagrammer's dream with the mist there and taking pictures and stuff like that. And so you have that, and then the mist stops, and as the mist clears, the water bubbles up from underneath and it forms a really thin layer of water. Now, in the summertime, you'll see people playing in there, and actually in the fall time, you'll see people playing in there as well. But you'll go and it's just so gorgeous. But when it makes that thin part of water, it really does make a mirror that when you stand on the back side of it, it really does reflect the buildings right onto the water, which is gorgeous. And you'll be shocked how beautiful it is at sunset, when you have the sunset kind of behind the buildings, and then behind the Place de Bourse, and you have that reflecting down. It is just gorgeous when you're here. I mean, you gotta go do that when you are here. And the 10th thing that shocks people about coming to Bordeaux is how fast it is to get here from Paris. If you take the TGV, it's just over 2 hours from Montparnasse station to here at Bordeaux Saint-Jean. And the thing is though it's really, really close, you don't see very many tourists when you're here. You can have this gorgeous, gorgeous French city and enjoy the people, the museums, the architecture, the World Heritage, all kinds of stuff when you're here. with a fraction of the tourists you'll get at bigger, more famous cities like Paris or Lyon and stuff like that. And I think a lot of it has to do with the people living, it's kind of like in the very southwest corner of France. And so people think, oh, that's kind of far to go. I don't know where to go from here. Look, you can spend a lot of time here. And what's great is you can spend a lot of time here, get to know the locals and not be overrun with tourists. It's a fantastic place. So I do hope you come. Also, don't be shocked if the tickets are sold out Friday nights and Sunday nights when you're trying to come and go back from Paris. So make sure you book your tickets earlier, okay? There's that. But if you want to know some more stuff about Bordeaux, some more like touristy kind of things like for tourist helpfulness, also watch our video on the don'ts of Bordeaux. That'll give you some ideas. We also have don'ts and mistakes of visiting France, all kinds of stuff to help you out to get the most out of visiting this fantastic city. Anyway, I wish you a great time, and I'm not going to be shocked when you fall in love with Bordeaux like we have, because I'm out here at the crack of dawn so I can get lots of videos done to enjoy and show off this fantastic city. Anyway, I wish you a great time, and bye from Bordeaux.